Hey everybody, thanks for being patient with us on the next bug video. I promise we will have one out soon. We're working on the engine here. Got a carburetor to replace. We're redoing the exhaust, a few other things, some wiring. Nothing crazy, but we want to get it, running well. We are not quite ready for a video yet though. I'm working on that. I did have another project come into the shop here that we wanted to show you today. It's this LOSI Desert Buggy XL. Big RC truck or RC buggy. I have worked on it before, and I'll show you here. I put on this Performance exhaust, K&N filter, new tank, fuel lines, but we have a few other issues that happened. One of which is this receiver needs replaced. I'm also going to put a kill switch on here because unfortunately this thing went crazy with no control on the controller, and it luckily didn't hurt anybody, but it needs a kill switch. So I'm putting in a kill switch here on the engine so we can kill it from the remote or stop the engine from the remote. I'm also going to, of course, put a new receiver in it. I already put a new servo in it as well last time I worked on it when I did the Performance exhaust here. And just for an example, here is the factory exhaust muffler that went right like that on these two bolts, and instead beefed it up to this bad boy, which is a high performance. It sounds like a dirt bike, really fast car, weighs a lot. The bottom chassis is all metal. Of course, it's a two-stroke, really powerful little car, but I'm going to do a few other things to it as well, and I wanted to kind of show you this new little project car we got in here. So, we're going to get a few things replaced. I'm going to have to take this whole exhaust off again to get that kill switch installed, but at least you'll be able to see how I installed this muffler. Unfortunately, it didn't come with really any instructions on how to install it in this model, so I kind of had to piece it together, but I'll show you all how I did that. We're going to clean it up a bit, get new fuel in it, fresh fuel, and hopefully get this thing ripping. Well, once I took the muffler off there, I needed to take the back of the engine cover off to feed the wire that goes from the kill switch around to the receiver. But I didn't record it, or I can't find the video, so we missed that entire section. But essentially what I did was hooked up the kill switch to the stop button on the engine, fed it around to the receiver, and now I'm putting the engine cover back on. This is the list of hardware that I purchased for the LOSI for this project. So in case you were wondering what specific hardware I purchased, here you go. The kill switch that I installed has a little red light, indicator light, that lets you know when it's been activated. So I had to use a drill to get a hole for that light, and that is the lid to the battery tray. And that's where I put the kill switch as well. So it's got a little light. I needed to put it through somewhere so you could visibly see it from the top of the car with the cover closed, and that's what that wire was for. So I had to drill a hole in there just to make room for that light. And at this point, I'm also hooking up a LED light that should have gone on the top of the buggy on the cage, but that's for the Generation 2 buggy, and we've got the Gen 1, so I decided to put it inside the car to kind of illuminate the bottom of the car. So it turned out pretty good in the end, but a little bit different than what it was designed for. Okay, everybody, I think I did it. New receiver, new kill switch. It's got a little light here, let you know when your engine is hot so you can run it, and then there's a button on the controller. So I got a new controller here that has all these auxiliary buttons, and I believe, this one here is going to be the kill switch. So this thing, this is a really fast RC truck or buggy, and the reason for the kill switch and everything is the receiver, after it flipped, the receiver broke. and then about 30 seconds later, this thing just took off on its own with full throttle. Luckily, it crashed into something and didn't hurt anybody, but that prompted the kill switch. What's nice is the receiver has its own kill switch. If it loses signal, it kills it. This one also kills it if it loses signal, but also if it gets below 4 volts. And I believe these are 6 volts. So as this battery, which controls the steering and the throttle, and the new light I put in, if it gets below 4 volts, then it also cuts out. Also, the new receiver we have, if it loses signal, it tells the car to, well, I don't know how it does that without a signal, but it tells the car to cut off as well. So there's some redundancy there, but the reason being is we don't want it to, of course, just take off on its own again. So we've got multiple kill switches, new receiver, that's a really good one, and a new controller. And then I put this LED light in it over here. You can't really tell, but it's gonna shine light here. It's actually a light bar for up here, but this is a generation 1 buggy, and the generation 2, you have a light bar here that's actual LED lights. Well, I bought it not knowing that I would have had to cut all this out. And with this, how much it flips, I figured that would break very quickly. So instead, I decided to put the light bar here. I don't know if it's ghetto or not, but I did put it there. What's neat is it shines into the gas tank at night. You'll be able to see how much fuel you have, and it should just really make the whole inside of it glow, which should be kind of cool. So instead of not putting it in, I put it on a side rail there to shine that way and really illuminate this whole area. So we'll see how it looks. But from here, I'm just gonna finish everything up. A lot of wire management, had to figure out how to stuff everything in here. I'm also getting zip ties here, gonna clean all this wiring up a little bit, put some fresh fuel in it, fire it up, and then we'll actually test the light. So here's the LED light. Doesn't look as cool. Here, let me turn this light off, might help. So it'll help illuminate the fuel tank at night and just kind of make this whole area glow, which I think is gonna look cool. All right, so we've got our kill switch here, and I just wanted to show you, we've obviously got throttle, that's working great. Steering, it looks good. What's also neat here is the kill switch light. So that's the kill switch. Programmed it to this button here. So if all of a sudden this takes off, this means it's hot. So we can pull start it and it'll run. Really, it's just tied into this manual kill switch here, which you push to stop the engine. Well, with this being on, we could fire it up. If it ever decides to take off on its own and I want to kill it, just press that button right here and it'll kill the engine right away. So that worked out really nice. I'm gonna go ahead, like I said, button everything up, get it cleaned up, the wiring and everything, and then we'll put some fresh fuel in it and give it a pull. Okay, got it all buttoned up. Added a little caulking in here. It's gonna dry clear, so it won't be so noticeable. That's my attempt to try to get it waterproof. I put on a nice little cover, I guess, sleeve on the wiring, and I left the connector to the light out in case I want to disconnect it completely. But that just cleaned it up so it's not so noticeable. And I believe we're ready to rock, so we're going to test it with our new Spektrum smart remote, which is pretty cool. You have this little touchpad back here. You just kind of slide it, press, put your finger on it, and it has a nice display. Quite the menu. So this had all the channels. It is definitely a lot better than what came stock or factory with the LOSI, but anyway, it's going to do the trick. Looks like steering's working good, throttle's good, and we'll test our kill switch here. Working. Again, there's our red light. That means I can fire it up. So we're going to add some fuel, and I need to put on the rest of the exhaust here, which is not factory, but it goes on something like that. And then the hardware actually connects from here to the engine. You just got to screw your little setup. But when they send you the kit for the exhaust, it doesn't really tell you what you need. So this is my concoction. Screw that in there, and then bolt that to this exhaust. So we'll get this all put together the rest of the way, and then we'll fire it up and see if it all works good. Really, the kill switch is our biggest thing that we're wanting to gain out of this, but got some other cool stuff along the way, I guess. And it's going to be a good run on Buggy now. Pretty good. Nice kill switch. There we go. Red light on, we can fire it up. Red light off, it kills it. That's what we wanted.
Whoa! Oh! Oh, nice! Landed it.